I've used a raw hot dog as a straw before, I swear to God.
Okay, I want.
Okay.
No, don't acknowledge that. Don't acknowledge it.
How am I supposed to not acknowledge
Don't
that?
acknowledge
She
it.
just
Don't
said she
acknowledge
used
it.
it as
Don't
a
acknowledge
straw. But did you
Don't
suck up like
acknowledge it.
mustard and ketchup with it?
No.
Hi, strangers. Welcome back, or if it's your first time, welcome to the V-Lit Book Club, monthly VTuber collab where we discuss, fight over, and gush about the books we like, and try to find something new to like. I'm your part-time host, part-time VTuber, and full-time slacker, Zetasteria, and with me, as always, is...
Hello, my name is V. I didn't really prepare an intro. I like fighting games and I like tokusatsu. None of that's relevant here. I am trapped in an eternal hell, and we're here to talk about books.
I'm Titania. I don't have an intro because I don't stream.
Excellent.
Hi, I'm Ren. I'm a space elf. Live in a stinky camper in space. Hi.
And hello, I'm Cordelia, resident trash TV lover and musical theater nerd, who's just happy to be here.
And once again, welcome back to everyone joining us for this month's book reading, which will be Poet Square Memoir in 30 Cats, Courtney Gustafson, which no one here had read before this meeting, actually, which I think was the first time that's happened. Also, hi. I skipped
Hi.
some things. It's the 6-month anniversary of the V-Lit Book Club. This is our 6th meeting.
Well,
Yeah,
Yippee.
look at that. We have been doing this since June, I think. I think it's roughly 6 months still with that, right?
We're here to read, not do math.
Yeah.
That's right. Nobody here. There's a reason we're doing a reading club and not a Sudoku club. All right, we can't do that. This ain't that kind of. None of us studied for that. This marks 6 months since we started the book club. 4 months since Titania joined us, and 7 months since I crashed out and quit my old book club because some old guy started going on weird racist rants at it.
That's how it goes.
And now we're here. How lovely. So, we're going to discuss the book first, but after that, we're going to have a couple of announcements, potentially relevant. I mean, no, they are relevant. I don't know why I said potentially. They are good-sized announcements that we're all pretty excited for. But before that, Cordelia, this month was your book, so would you like to introduce us to Poet Square for folks who maybe...
Would I?
I think you would.
Okay, I would. So this book has been on my radar since before it even came out because I had been following the author on her Instagram and TikTok accounts, Poet Square Cats, where she posts her time doing trap neuter release for feral cats in Arizona. And I was like, I definitely want to read this book. And then I joined book club and I was like, I'll just put it into the rotation. But it was a very difficult book to get our hands on. So it's okay that it took all of the 6-ish months to get here because it was quite a wait to get our book copies in.
Yes, I put in my hold on the book right after the stream where we picked my book, after we picked Lavender House. And I did not have the hold ready to pick up for 2 months. It took until last week for me to actually be able to pick up the book because I was, I think, number 90 on holds with like 10 books available, maybe less. Probably, I think it was actually... No, I think it was 6 books were available, and I was number 90, so I had to wait a bit. It is a very popular book, and yeah, for good reason. Did you guys have to... I know V and Titania, you guys just bought the book, right?
Titania and I had to purchase the book.
Yeah, my hold is still number 3, by the way.
I'll say...
I always purchase the books.
I'll say as a little spoiler, the situation might not get better with holds for the next round of books. My little itty bitty spoiler, I did look up at my local library how many holds were on the new books we picked, and I'm thinking I'm going to probably have to buy a couple of these books myself.
Oh, good lord.
But what
Yes.
did we think of Poet Square? Or actually, before we get into Poet Square, as always, we prepare some food relevant to the book club. And this month, the options were interesting. Within the book, there were 3 kind of big meals. There were 3 big foodstuffs mentioned. The first one being mushroom risotto, the name of one of the cats, and clearly an important food in the author's life, which nobody was trying to make because mushroom risotto takes a ton of time and is really hard to make. So nobody really tried that. Option number 2 was raw uncooked hot dogs, eaten straight out of the bag, which I did buy some. I did have them ready in case we went for it, but we did not go down that route. And then option 3, which seemed like the most sensible, was just our Thanksgiving dinners, because the way Courtney Gustafson got famous, I guess, on Instagram and TikTok was through a video of Thanksgiving dinner she made for the cats. I've got a couple. Not everyone was able to get photos of Thanksgiving dinner, which is fine. Kind of the last thing to be thinking about when you're at Thanksgiving dinner is, oh, I should be taking a pic for my book club. But we got 3 food pics this
Always
week.
be thinking about book club.
Always thinking about, but I'm out and about. I was out in the snow earlier for book club, walking a mile for this book club for reasons that will become clear soon. But yeah, starting
Before
with...
I had my meal, I took my picture. I said I have to take a picture of my plate for my book club, and everyone was just like, "Okay,
Like,
sure you do."
Okay, Cordelia. The rest of the fish people kind of giving you side glares, like, there's the landlubber again. But anyway, here's Cordelia's, which is probably...
Beautiful.
It is beautiful. That is like the most Thanksgiving-looking plate I've ever seen. What's on
So
that?
that Mom Delia used her fine china. She was like, do we want it on china this year?" And I was like, "No." And she said, "I'm doing it anyway because I'll feel bad if we don't." But yeah, there's everything on there. Not really, actually. The cranberries are on the side, but turkey stuffing, mashed potatoes, green bean casserole, acorn squash, butternut squash, and I did the sweet potatoes, which are the dark brown orange mush in the top left.
Okay, I was wondering what that was, honestly. I recognized the squashes, but I didn't recognize what the dark brown sludge was, so I was gonna ask, what was that?
It's sweet potatoes and a ton of brown sugar and butter.
That is like one of the most aesthetic Thanksgiving plates I think I've ever seen. Dark brown orange mush,
Kill me
let's go!
instantly. I love it.
It does look really good, yeah. And then, moving on to Rin's picture, which is not actually of Thanksgiving dinner, but of the charcuterie board they made for it, which looks just... I'm jealous. I'm so jealous.
The meat roses, come on.
They are so pretty. The, like, slices of apples, the way everything is layered. I gotta build a charcuterie board and just have it for myself and no one else. Mostly because I have no one else I could invite for it. Unless I did it on stream. What is that, just the classic, like, salamis and pork meats?
It's prosciutto, sopressata, and salami.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Can cats have salami? I feel like they must be able to, right?
Cats can have
Cats
a
can
little
have a little
salami.
salami.
They can have a little.
Little
It's probably
salami.
too salty for them, is the thing. Is
A
what I
little
imagine.
salami. Just a little.
As a treat.
Little slummy.
Yeah, they can have they can have one as a treat. They can have
little.
one. Finally, my Thanksgiving meal wasn't really a Thanksgiving meal. This was just because when I went to the store, I was gonna buy like a Cornish hen so I could have like my own personal bird that looks really nice, but they were completely sold out of literally every single poultry meat except for chicken leg quarters. So that's what I have here. That's a big old chicken leg quarter with some smashed potatoes. I put the potatoes underneath the chicken leg in the air fryer and let them cook in the chicken fat
Oh, fuck
as
yeah.
that went on. And then behind them, it's kind of hard to see, but that is a little medley of corn and zucchini behind them with baked mac and cheese and homemade cranberry relish, which was all very good. And then I finished it off with a slice of, I posted this previously, square pie, because I started making a pie and then realized I didn't have pie crust, so I made a pie crust. And then after I made the pie crust, I realized I didn't own a pie tin, so I used a casserole dish to do it.
You know, whatever you gotta do.
Whatever you gotta do. And this was, I hate to say it's better than any pumpkin pie I've ever had, but it kind of was.
I mean, sweet potato pie is better.
I mean, I think I have to agree at this point. After this, I mean, I've had to stop myself from eating like 2 slices every day. It's tough. It's tough. But yeah, those were the meals of this month. The rest of the club is relegated to eating cat food, as is fresh cat food, the good kind. We have some nice natural organic sardines for them. But yeah, and now back onto the book itself. Poet Square, our longest book to date, I think, right? Technically?
Was it?
What? I don't
It's
know.
only like
I think it was
230
longer
pages.
than Lavender House by like a tiny bit.
Oh, I didn't actually read Lavender House, so I guess I wouldn't know.
I didn't.
Yeah, that's right.
Fucking
233 pages.
Yeah, I think it was because I'm looking at Lavender House on my shelf, and it is definitely like I think it's a tiny bit smaller than Poet Square. I don't know. I returned my Poet Square copy actually. I took it out on a Sunday and returned it on a Tuesday
Instantaneous.
because I finished
Holy
it in
shit.
like 2 days straight.
You're like, get this shit out of my face.
Well, because there were so many holds on it, I was like, okay, I had to wait a really long time. I don't want the next person to have to wait for me to decide to go back to the library. So I just returned it right away. You know, I wanted to be considerate. It was very digestible. Yeah, it was nice that each chapter kind of started a new thing. I imagine if you read it across like a longer period of time than I did, it would be really easy to just go from one chapter to the next. But I did not. I read it in 2 sittings.
It was very objectively digestible.
It was.
Yeah.
What
And
was
delicious.
what was the general opinion though from folks around here? Cordelia, what was your opinion of the book? Because you were probably the one most excited to read this, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would assume so. If anyone else was more excited, please take that title because I was like, oh my god, what if it's horrible and everyone hates it and I get excommunicated?
That
Yeah,
is
we're gonna
happening.
kill you.
Now, if we
Cordelia.
were
We
going to
are gonna-
excommunicate
we
someone over their book choice, it wouldn't be you. Let's just
we
just
are
like
going
we know who it would
We
be,
are
and it's not
going
you.
to kill you.
Holding a big glowing sign above my head.
A big like fluorescent arrow pointing down at you.
This one. No, I
Yeah.
really liked it. It was nice to see, like, not see because I've seen it because I followed the account for a while, but it was nice to get the backstory of things that I've just seen through little reels or pictures. As someone who fostered cats, I have like appreciation for all the work that goes into the behind the scenes, but I thought it had a nice like overarching through line about like the real human nature of the struggles and how it can be applied to like everything and not just the cats, and it just felt very timely.
It was, yeah, no. I remember getting to the chapter that was specifically on like misogyny and how it's like reflected in cats and the way people refer to them. I was enjoying the book already up to that point, but that was the moment where I like kind of sat up in my seat like, "Oh, this is serious stuff. This isn't just a memoir about fostering cats. This is going into it." It was enjoyable, the fact that I mean, it's literally a memoir. I shouldn't be surprised that each chapter so efficiently ties in to like some part of her life and something she experienced in some sort of defining moment for her that could relate to individual cats or the cat colonies. In particular, I think the chapter that stood out the most to me was the one about the trash colony. That was
Yeah.
that was the end of that chapter was hard. That was
Brutal.
like upsetting to read through, just the way, and it just moves on after too, where it's, I think I wasn't expecting her to critique her own audience in the way she does in that chapter and in other ones about how readily she receives just as much cat supplies as she needs, but the moment she puts up donation goals for like people she knows, it sits there, which is upsetting, but I'm happy she included it. Anyone else? Nudging the redhead to my left.
This book made me fucking miserable, dude. I don't know how to say that like in a better way. This book made me feel like shit. Like, I don't hate the book. Like it wasn't like a bad book. I don't think it was a bad book. The subject matter made me miserable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
very
Yeah.
depressing
I can
book.
understand that.
I spent a lot of the time reading this book feeling fucking bad.
Especially like
Yeah, actually, yeah.
I can see that just because I know I have an idea of how many cats you have, so I can see that being like reading about that sort of thing. I mean, I haven't owned cats since I was like a teenager, so I don't have the freshest perspective on it, but I can definitely see how some of the chapters, especially the early chapters where she's talking about how many of them just don't make it.
I grew up like almost in the country, and for a time we had a bunch of unneutered cats. So then we had a bunch more of unneutered cats, which then made a lot more unneutered cats. So a lot of it was actually very familiar to me, even the sadder shit.
My job site has a stray, or it used to have a stray, which kind of I was reminded of reading this book that would always be around kind of lurking around our garage, around our sort of roofs and such. You know, it made me think about that cat. Like, that was a stray in a city. You know, what must that be like comparatively? I haven't seen it in months, so I kind of just hope someone like, you know, the author just came by and like trapped it and took it to a vet and sent it home with someone, because that's the only outcome I can see with that. This is a sad book when you think about it. This is kind of an upsetting book when you start to think about it like that. Like, there is so
It was
much.
a lot lighter than the book I was reading previously.
There's so much to it that isn't stuff I'd ever thought about before in regards to strays. Like, specifically her writings about like the way the cats can't control their like heat cycles and how they mate, and they're like have to follow the way their bodies want them to act, even despite them like being in pain and suffering through it. And it's like, that was just because the comments she brings up in that chapter, I think it's called Men Calls Cats Sluts. I would remember exactly hearing people talk like that about stray cats in my old neighborhood. I'd hear my mom talk about cats like that. I'd hear like my neighbors say it about random cats. Like, it was so, it made me think about stuff more that I hadn't really ever thought with strays, and I think it's a really good perspective to have because of that. Question from Sentai in chat: do we have favorite cats from the book? And I think the answer is yes for most of us. For me, I shared it privately with the group. I love Monkey. I loved the chapter about Monkey. It was so charming reading about this like really mean defensive cat who just slowly warms up and becomes more playful once it no longer has to worry about food. And it's like, I was reading that chapter and thinking about the very start of the book where there's like a dedication for Monkey. And I got really sad. This is a really sad book because I got really sad reading this stuff about Monkey, because I was like, why is there a dedication for Monkey at the start of this book? And I love Monkey. I love reading about him. As soon as I finished the book, I went onto the author's Instagram, and she has like reel collections that's just of each of the cats. And so there was one that was just like 60 reels of just Monkey. And watching those videos after reading this book felt like seeing a celebrity on the street. Like, it was really great. V?
I can't say that I thought about having a favorite cat. I guess I don't have one. I didn't even read the book.
I didn't read the book.
I didn't read the book.
I've never seen a cat in my life.
I don't know what cats are. Sorry,
those things in your house, those are some other fucking thing. You don't know what those are.
No, those aren't cats.
Those aren't cats. Those are dogs. They just look really fucked up.
Yeah,
my favorite
funny
cat
little
was the
dogs.
dog.
That was the dog.
My
Yeah.
favorite cat was the dog. Yeah.
Okay then, Titania.
I also didn't really have a favorite cat because I don't know how to put that sounding like a psychopath. I guess I'd just say I'm a dog person.
Okay. Okay.
So
that's
I
fair.
just
Did you like the one dog?
yes, I did like the one dog.
Yes.
The one single mention of a dog, and that's it.
Yes.
She didn't like any of the rest of the book, just the one, like the 3 pages where they were talking about a dog.
That's right. Those are the only good pages of the book.
Those are the only pages worth reading. You can just throw out the rest of the book. Just tear those 3 pages out, pin them up to your wall. I mean, you bought your book. You can do that if you want.
I could do that right now if I wanted to.
You could. It'd be kind of fucked up, but you could.
I'm not gonna do that though.
Right? I don't know. Rin?
I also loved Monkey, but I love Sad Boy and Lola so much. Oh my god,
Yeah.
Sad Boy and Lola are one soul is what I was trying to say, and I love them so much.
They are. It was such a good... Anytime the book was talking about 2 cats, like, together, like Sad Boy and Lola, and what was the other pair? Like, the mother-daughter pair, except they weren't actually.
Oh,
What's
yeah,
it?
yeah, I can't
MK
think
and
of their
Georgie,
names.
I think.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Oh, they were so... That chapter was so good. Just reading how, like, the confusion of Georgie at the start of being like, what's going on? Okay. And then just getting into it is, like, so... This book made me cry so much. Like, I'm crying over cats, and I feel insane. Like... Counting the number of times I've cried in the last year, watching a Shark VTuber graduate and reading about adopted cats finding found family is like, great. I'm a fundamentally ruined person.
So what about when you saw Wicked?
Well, that was last year. I saw Wicked last year.
Oh, okay.
That
Fair enough.
was it? It might have been this year. I don't know. But that was another time, yeah.
In the spirit of not repeating just for the spice of life and variety, I'm gonna go with Bubbles, who was the cat that she had when she was in that apartment, and there was that guy, I can't think of the fucker's name.
Bubbles is
And
so good.
he went to live with her dad and they were best buds. And I just was like, I know what it's like having a single cat who's kind of a little bitch. I get it. I feel it, Bubbles.
Bubbles saved her from a shitty relationship.
He did. That's such. I shouldn't have been, again, Bubbles ACAB moments. I shouldn't have been so surprised. I mean, I guess I could just be surprised about whatever because I didn't know what to expect going into this, really. I intentionally, did not let myself look up any of the stuff about this, right? It was. I wanted to go in completely blind, so I got taken off.
A bad idea.
I got taken off guard a lot with how much this book focused on misogyny and how it bled into the work she did. And I don't want to. I feel like saying I'm glad it included that is a bad thing to say about misogyny, but it made reading it so much more it's the reason I think I was able to read it so quickly and not be able to put it down because everything fed into the rest so well, the cats feeding into her personal life and the stories about the different times in her life the cats made a difference, and it flowed really well back to back and made it such easy to digest. I think this is probably the most digestible book we've read so far. Probably. I feel partly because of obviously the subject matter, but also just I think memoirs are just good for that. Or I feel like I shouldn't say that. I feel like I've probably tried to read memoirs before and they were just not as good as this. I was not surprised when it got to the point in the book where she revealed oh yeah, I was an English master's. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I don't know why I thought again yeah, that it would take that to get a published book, wouldn't it? That is the difference.
It's
But
very
yeah,
And if you guys have a hard print copy, I believe that there's little drawings of some of the cats in there. I didn't get that experience because I listened to the audiobook, but then I saw something about it and I was like, fuck.
Yes, there are. Every single chapter starts with a little drawing of the cat that is the subject of that chapter, and they are really good.
Yeah, like what you were saying, I really like that it was a genuine memoir and not just a fluffy book about cats,
Yeah, I think the chapter, I think it was Letting Myself Go, was a really interesting read of just how much it affected her, and it gave, I don't want to say context, but it helped tie together the previous chapters where she talked about her time in college and her time at home and how she was starting out. It really made a nice, I don't even think it was a middle point. I think that was almost the end of the book. It was just a nice reflective moment.
Last chapter of the book, or just the last half of the episode.
Yeah, I was surprised with the ending on it. I mean, I guess it is a memoir and she's still alive, so it's it had to just kind of end.
Just gotta kind of end.
Right.
I was surprised when I reached the last page and it was oh, that's just it. And it's I mean, for a modern American novel, having the ending be "we bought a house" is pretty that. That's kind of dream achieved.
The American dream.
The American dream of owning a house that is a little out of reach for most.
Last page should have just been a fucking link to her Instagram page.
Right, just last page is just a big QR code, just links right to it.
Right. Well, so that was interesting for me too because I had been following the page and I didn't care about this sounds bad too. Not that I didn't care about her, but that's not why I was following her accounts. I was just following it to see the cats. So to then get more backstory about her and the context of her life and the behind the scenes of that was oh, okay, yeah, I get it now. I fed into that a little bit by being just show me the cats.
As someone who didn't follow her ever and wasn't aware of what to expect going into this, I was pleasantly surprised with how much it balanced, how much it wasn't about the cats, I suppose. It was...
Right.
Yeah, it's a memoir. Again, I shouldn't be surprised it's called a memoir. I think, was it Blue just said earlier that, why would you be surprised that something that's literally titled a memoir would be about her primarily and not the cats? Why would it be surprising that the cats are just a vehicle to talk about her own life?
The cats are a hook to get you suckers to read this.
That's right. All these drawings on the cover, those are just a hook. You're good.
That's
Guess what, baby? You're reading about misogyny in the
sucker?
modern America today. You thought you were getting
America-
Listen, they
cats?
talked about the
Fucking
crazy
culture
cat lady.
sucks.
I
This
get
won't
it.
be the
I
first time
get
they
it.
used cats to teach me about how shitty things are.
Yeah, I also watched Cats 2019, so I get it.
is that? Can you connect that to this? Is that?
I much preferred this book than Cats 2019, but I'll just say I watched the Cats movie and then a global pandemic happened. So
Coincidence? I think not.
I think not.
I think not.
Cats movie too
The thing
good. They just
about
had to.
poets-
Everyone knew they couldn't make a better movie than that, so they just manufactured the pandemic. That's the real
That's actually-
conspiracy.
that's actually
the,
not true.
the
Sonic the
pandemic
Hedgehog
wasn't
came out.
caused by. Yeah, I shouldn't actually go
Oh,
into
that's
this. We're
true.
gonna get taken off YouTube if I go into this. You know?
Sonic the Hedgehog came out
Did.
actually after that movie, so
God, sparks of resistance still in there, still in the dark.
this book uses cats as to get you in the door so that it can tell you how fucking awful our culture is and how evil this country fucking sucks. How fucking American isolationism and evil shitty society we live in. That's what made me miserable about this book. It wasn't the cats. I can deal with the idea that stray cats die. That's a fact of life, which I suppose everything else that I just said is a fact of life too. But that doesn't necessarily make me that upset. Everything else in the book where I had to just read about the things that happen in my real life, not being able to
Yeah.
afford medical care or living paycheck to paycheck or being afraid of getting fired, are all really real. And it made me feel really bad because I already have to deal with that now in my real life. And it's not like it's not like it's shocking or whatever. And of course, other people have to deal with it too. But that's what really made me miserable reading this book, was that's what this book
valid.
was ultimately about. Not necessarily about the cats, although it is, of course, about the cats. But it's about how this country sucks.
Yeah, I
That's
think
my rant for this book.
it's a good rant.
And the people that need that message aren't picking up the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the book presents, I don't know, I've only been following her Instagram for like a week now, and it's just been like cat rescues. So I don't know. Cordelia, does her Instagram really go into some of the topics she talks about in the book, or is it mostly
From what I remember, not really. A lot of the stuff she posts are just on her story when she's actively out doing trap neuter release, and then the occasional post and stuff like that. A lot of her more recent posts have been book promo and things like that, but I don't have a good memory of her using any of those other book topics as sort of a jumping off point within Instagram as well. But I also haven't read through the posts in a while. I just see the cats and I'm
No.
blinded by the cats. I see the cats and I go
Well, not a criticism to Courtney here. She probably wouldn't make any money on Instagram and TikTok if she actually talked about that shit
that's true.
on in those videos. If any of her videos, or if a majority of her videos were about the horrible reality of sort of all of this shit, people probably wouldn't like it because it would make them feel bad in an irresponsible kind of way,
Right.
not like in a people, it would make people feel bad and then they would turn away because they don't want to feel bad. If she made a bunch of posts about basically what's in this book, if people would turn away because they don't want to deal with the reality of that suffering, which is why in the fucking book she talks about how people will donate cat food but won't donate fucking blankets for human beings, right? Because they don't want to deal with the acknowledgement that there are people suffering, but they'll pat themselves on the back because they buy cat food.
It's not a huge point. It is presented as a way to end a chapter, but it is a very clear point that her own audience and an audience at large doesn't really care about the cost of doing this, other than they can feel good about supporting cats by buying cat food. But if you do donate and buy a blanket or buy real food for human beings, then you're directly confronting that idea. And I don't want to say I think it's wrong. I do think it's wrong, but I think it's also in a way understandable. I mean, it's not really, actually. I take that back. It's really not I get it. I get why you do it. It's not good, but I can see the argument of once you acknowledge it once, like Mysterio is saying, once you see it, once you acknowledge it, you're not ever gonna not be able to see it. And that can kind of, I don't want to say ruin your life, but it can change the way you go about your day to day. I know I have noticed it.
Certainly makes my life worse.
Yeah.
But like, what the other thing is, and she talked about this in the book too, which is the only reason I bring it up. People rationalize, cats and dogs and animals and shit as being like inherently innocent creatures.
Right.
It's easier for any person of any political leanings or whatever to donate to cat food. Because what did a cat ever do? It's just basically exactly what she says verbatim in the book. What did a cat ever do to, starving to death, right? It is easier to justify to yourself that a poor person is poor because they deserve to be poor, right? They did something,
Right.
or they're a bad person or whatever the fuck, justify to yourself to make yourself not care about a homeless guy you see on the street, or somebody begging for money, whatever the fuck. That's also a part of it too, right? Like, it's easy to get people, well, not easy, I don't want to diminish the work, but it's easier to get people to donate money for cats than it is for health. This is even actually like not textually, but like subtextually, like paralleled. I'm just realizing this as I'm saying the sentence in the book, because in the early parts of the book, when she's talking about how she would work to like hand out food and supplies during like the pandemic, she wrote a lot about, people being bitter, people fighting over each other, people stealing and shit like that. And then you flop that with like people donating cat food and shit. And it's like there's a dichotomy, right, between the response when like people are suffering versus the response when like animals are suffering. It's not 100% because obviously there's lots of people who just don't give a shit about animals suffering either. But it's easier to make people care about a poor, sad doggy, right, than it is about like a grown man who's like homeless because he lost his job. That's kind of like the whole
Absolutely.
point of like that chapter, and like all the like what's that low income area that chapter was about? What's it called?
Oh, Desert Springs,
Desert
Desert
Palms?
Palms.
Oh yeah, okay, so, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. Like that was the whole point of that sort of area of the book. The other half was building trust with the community, and also the other half of it was fuck 12, fuck the police.
That's
Several points in the book where she said
Yep.
fuck the police.
Yep.
It was really
Hell yeah.
A wonderfully recurring subject. I don't know. I like that the book kind of presents a fantasy of cat rescue, of TNR, where if you came in from just her Instagram posts, you would be expecting, but definitely not what the book is about. I think, it's really as much about the cost of human suffering as it is the cost of like feral cat rescue and their suffering. They're not separate issues. It ties back in inevitably. The way you'd have, again, coming back, I feel like it's one of the most impactful chapters, the chapter on just the misogyny she dealt with in rescuing cats, the way a lot of the men she encountered who were with their wives would dismiss what she was doing and the idea of neutering the cats because they just thought it was funny. It presents it as almost like, yeah, there's a cost, but so much of the cost doesn't need to be there and is just there for the same reasons that there's already the things she dealt with in college with the guy stalking her. It's not completely different reasons that then have cats on the streets entirely, constantly reproducing, bringing more cats that are going to starve on the streets.
It is a human condition issue, right? Because like, why are there feral cats in Poet Square, right? Because people can't afford to care about they can't afford, like,
Yeah.
monetarily afford to care about the cats, or they can't afford. They do care about the cats, but they can't afford to care for the cat. Like, what was his name? George, the guy
Hot dog
who like threatened
man?
no, not the hot dog guy is a good hot dog man's going too. The other guy, the guy who threatened to kill her the first time that she showed up.
Oh, right.
Richard, sorry, yeah, Richard. The issue with that whole like part of the book is that this guy legitimately cares for these cats, but he can't afford to care for the cats because there's too many of them. He doesn't have any damn money. Like, nobody in that neighborhood has any damn money. They can't afford veterinarian care, for the cats. Or the woman who was living in the condemned property that was literally just, the fucking ground was covered with dead animals. Nobody was helping her. You have to help her first so you can help the
Right.
cats,
Right.
I mean, in this situation, that's not what happened, but the idea is that these things wouldn't be happening to animals if these things weren't happening to humans first. If human society, or I should say American society, because I don't want to speak for other cultures, was able to care for its most vulnerable members, those members in turn could care for vulnerable animals or whatever. Like it's a domino thing. It's not like a coincidence that Poet Square is in Tucson, fucking Arizona, one of the poorest parts of the country. All of this shit is happening in one of the poorest, most like poor education, low GPO states in the country. Like that's not coincidental, right? Why is so much of this happening in these low? That's because they're low income areas. She even makes a point to say that there are no stray cats in high. There's a reason for that.
It really is such a good job she does highlighting like the class divisions, the poverty, the way it is not an exclusive issue that is being dealt with. I think in particular there's a section where she talks about like the wrong way to feed cats. I think it's in the Hot Dog Man chapter, where she talks about like, you're not supposed to feed cats this, you're not supposed to feed them this because it's bad for them. And then she goes on to defend the people that do that, because like they're not people who can afford high quality cat food. They're not people who have donations coming in from TikTok of, people sending them cat food to feed. They're people who are buying their own food and setting out, they're losing out on food they could feed themselves with that they probably struggle to get in the first place to feed cats. Like how the level of criticism you can levy to that sort of person is kind of nothing if you're not already criticizing the systems that put them there in the first place.
Right.
Right.
She does ask the audience to have some grace towards people who are caring for cats incorrectly and maybe inadvertently hurting them, because at least they're trying.
Like the Hot Dog Man. The Hot Dog Man chapter was very good, honestly. There is the second half of the book especially feels like it focuses so much on like housing insecurity and poverty as a factor in how these cats not only end up where they are, but how they end up, being cared for. Like the reveal at the end of that chapter that what he's doing is ultimately sharing his dinner with these cats, that he's taking the smallest amount of it to, as opposed to the idea of a person giving away a bit of their dinner, he's taking a bit of the cat's dinner so he can be fed. I mean, it's
On the the other side of that coin, just in terms of the food that's being fed, my mom actually used to work at a pet food manufacturer. She was quality control, and the food has to be fit for human consumption because that's some people's option too. If they have animals, they'll just get a lot of pet food and have that too.
The book has just so much grace and care for like probably the kind of people that she got criticisms about in her own Instagram comments and whatnot. Like I can, again, I feel like if I went back and really read through her entire archive, I would find sort of points and criticisms made by people that this book directly addresses of like, no, these aren't bad people because they're feeding, boiled chicken to cats. They're not bad people because they're giving cow milk to kittens. They're doing what they can, and they're doing more than the person criticizing it is probably doing. If you're going to criticize that kind of person, you should be prepared to back it up with, a donation to a food bank or something. Like you're not in a position to criticize an issue that you're directly not even acknowledging. Overall,
and then with that too, just like having those people like, what are you doing? And this helped me too. Like I do stuff, like it's not like I was like, oh, like, but this book also helped me reflect and be like, what am I doing in my community today, or what can I do, to help with these sorts of things? Because it's great, if you want to send your money to these people on the internet to donate food and stuff like that, but we have to start with our neighbors too.
Exactly.
What can be done close to home? There's everyone there's suffering everywhere. There's help that can be done everywhere.
there is. And I mean that this book wasn't the reason for it, but I have started getting more into sort of local community efforts. And I even remember my university, when I attended, had a program that was about catching the feral cats on campus, doing TNR with them, and then, making sure they're fed, trying to find foster homes if it's possible.
Yeah, there is a little bit of I understand like because I definitely partake in it myself, like the anthropomorphizing of the cats and things like that could deter people from like the spay aborts or things like that. But I will say that cats don't don't have that same instinct forever. Like with the whole thing where it's like, oh, like is the mommy cat gonna miss its babies? After a point, no, they just don't give a shit anymore.
God.
I will say they just because that was a whole thing because I've helped with the foster programming and things like that. And someone was asking, they were like, well, if I take these cats and that's like their mommy cat and I break up the family, and then one of the ladies that's in charge of the organization that I volunteer through was like, they don't think about it like that. They don't have the same level of cognition in terms of the family unit. After a certain point, they're just like, let me exist. So
It's like a moment of instinct, I guess, in the same
yeah,
sense of how
Yeah,
she
it's-
talks
it's-
about
it's-
the times
it's
when they're going
hormonal.
into heat, how that's all they think about,
Yeah.
I assume,
right.
immediately
Ma-
after. Okay.
Maternal instincts in most animals are just hormones, so
Hmm.
eventually the hormones will exit the system, and either it's become a learned behavior. If they're with like the way that it's supposed to work, ideally is like the hormonal instinct will turn into a learned behavior for the cat, and they'll keep doing that, or it doesn't. It's why it doesn't fire in some cats. It's why I think there was one or two times talked about like a cat would give birth and just wouldn't give fuck shit. It's like, okay, just leave the kittens there. Who gives a fuck?
They had to do
Yeah.
it to fulfill some hormonal instinct, and then that's it. It's over. The hormones are gone. And there's
Or when they
nothing.
like eat the sick ones, that too.
Those
Yeah.
first couple chapters were tough with like the descriptions of what strays were like having to do in like the earliest moments. It's good. It is. I can see how this is a book that would just make you miserable on like so many different fronts. Especially, God, I can't imagine.
Sorry for perpetuating misery with my suggestion, everyone. Thanks for reading it
I
anyway.
feel like most of the books we've read.
Fire!
I don't know. I feel
Cordelia
like
out
We're,
of a
we're going to
rocket.
shoot Cordelia in the head.
we're going to take her out of the water and put her on ice to suffocate like a salmon. Sorry to say.
We're gonna let her de-thaw and then deep fry her.
We're
What's
gonna.
with these Danganronpa style execution you're giving me? My God.
We're gonna boil her alive like a crab.
Oh, we're doing a nice little seafood batter,
Yeah,
some old sprinkles some
That's-
old
listen.
Bay on top.
Worry.
Are we hungry here? Like,
Are we hungry?
Yeah, a little.
Do we need the food mix again?
good book.
Please don't take me to PETA. They'll post some
No!
Oh no, not the PETA post about Cordelia.
I
That's
can't believe this
crazy.
book actually made it the whole way through without fucking just shitting on PETA. Just a stray shots of PETA.
It's like,
Just-
and by the
Yeah.
way, PETA sucks.
Well,
I'm
she's
surprised
smart
there's
enough to
none
know
of
these
that.
motherfuckers will sue.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they'd probably.
I feel like
They will sue. They
not
will
to
sue.
suddenly make a sharp deviation, but like I feel like that would be a trend or something of like furry VTubers posting PETA tweet parodies with like their NSFW tags.
Oh my
Let's-
god, yeah.
Oh my
Let's start it.
God.
Well, none of us are animals, so
That's true. None of us are animals. I mean,
Speak for
we all got that
yourselves.
dog in us a little bit, you know.
we got that dog.
I know I do. I don't.
I know,
That's a
I-
lie. I'm posing.
I know
I
you
don't
don't.
have that dog in me. I'm sorry.
Chat, can somebody redeem the command that blows Zed up?
Okay, do we
Can't
have
you
closing
just add
thoughts about
can't
the
you-
book?
can't- I feel like it's not a matter of if I did or didn't like it, because it's like a fucking memoir. I think it was a valuable reading experience. Hopefully, you guys actually read it.
Yeah, what was the chat
was too-
opinion?
that was
I
too-
I
that
feel
was-
like we've
that
been
was too
ignoring
much
chat a
now.
bit this stream. I'm sorry.
Well, chat's not on the podcast. This is
Chat's not on the podcast. Chat, you
This
can
is-
join
they
the
don't-
podcast too if you become a VTuber.
what?
Yeah.
They're here
I don't
to-
know what you're talking
That's
about.
no, they can't.
No,
We're
they can't.
closed.
No, they can't. Application. I mean, we're gonna have an open spot next month. You
No,
know.
we're closed. We're closed.
No, you fucking replacing me with like
No,
fucking-
I literally said in the very first meeting we could maybe have guest people who are in for like 1 or 2 streams only and then leave.
Let's replace. Let's
No,
replace
they're
me with an
replacing
AI
me when I
chatbot.
die.
We'll find a different redhead to replace V with.
There are no others.
There
Let's
are
get
no
Hiragi
others.
Yu
I
on the
feel like I
podcast.
must. No, wait. I don't think I do know another redhead VTuber. Actually, now that
Well,
I
I
think
do,
about
but I'm
it.
not telling you.
You
DM
do.
Hiragi Yu.
No,
I'm not getting them.
Oceania.
Fucking send a fucking letter to Bill Gates,
Send a
ask
fucking-
him to come on the podcast.
Send a
What
letter
the
to
fuck?
God and see if God will come down. That's what you just said.
Bill
Get
Gates?
get
I
out.
couldn't think of a famous person off the top of my head. That was the first thought I had.
Bill Gates is dead.
Bill Gates is not dead. What?
Let's
That's-
get Courtney
He
Hold
on
on,
died
the
in
hold on,
the
Steve
stream and I
Jobs.
missed it.
That's Steve Jobs.
It's
My fault.
It's so sad that Steve Jobs died of ligma.
When you open Twitter right now and it said Bill Gates dead,
Oh
died.
man, that'd be great. That'd be awesome.
Did I
Oh,
tell you
shit.
guys about how I thought that I know I didn't, but I never nap, right? Sorry, this is a tangent, but it's worth it. I was so tired, I took a nap. I woke up, Jimmy Carter was dead. And I was like,
you
I
killed
took a
Jimmy
nap.
Carter.
That's how I feel. And I was
I
really,
was-
really fucking upset about it.
You know,
It
the
does.
color balance. Has anybody ever told you that the color balance and lineup is fucked?
What do you mean?
Red, pink, pink.
Okay, what's wrong with 2 pinks, huh? My image color is actually purple.
Actually,
What if
Yeah.
it were purple?
For the record,
Yeah, but this model is blue.
my image color is white.
Okay, that's
Okay.
well, you know, your PNG doesn't have. It's just the fingers are white on your PNG.
That's also never been true.
That would be more white visible if you moved the fucking Zetlings.
Yeah, the Zetlings feed us.
And I throw bits at them. Just kidding. They
Throw
don't
hot dogs at him, dude.
Yeah, throw
Raw
the
hot
raw
dogs.
hot dogs at him.
Raw hot dogs. You're so. I literally had
So,
a couple of. Hot
okay,
dogs this
can I
week.
hold on?
Yeah.
Can we go back? So you were going to eat raw hot dogs if the rest of us also did that?
I don't want to
You
admit
bought
this, but
raw
I've
hot
done
dogs.
that before.
You're admitting
Why?
it. You're going to admit it in front of stream.
No,
You bought raw hot dogs.
I would never.
Zed,
eat-
okay, no,
If
like
we
before
were doing a bit of it,
no,
like we all ate a
before
bit of raw.
Before the streams, that was like I bought raw hot dogs, for the bit. If you guys want to do
Okay,
that,
but
I was like,
also
I'm not
you
buying
literally buy
raw
hot dogs. You
dogs.
don't buy cooked hot dogs in a pack at the store. They come
I
raw.
don't
You
like.
have to
I don't
cook
buy.
them.
To be honest with you, I don't buy hot dogs. Period.
Well,
I've used a raw hot dog as a straw before, I swear to God.
Okay, I want.
okay.
No, don't acknowledge that.
What
Don't
do you
acknowledge
mean?
it.
How am I supposed to not acknowledge
Don't
that?
acknowledge
She
it.
just
Don't
said
acknowledge
she used
it.
it as a
Don't
straw.
acknowledge
What did you
Don't
suck up
acknowledge
like
it.
mustard
No,
and ketchup
no,
with
no,
it?
no, no, no.
I don't.
No, it was in a alcoholic
in a-
beverage.
Was it a Bloody
Emulsion.
Mary? Was it a Bloody Mary?
No, no,
Oh.
no. Guess what? Here, we'll make this real quick. It was called a Schlong Island.
Whoa!
It was
know,
a Long Island
Crazy.
with
It was-
with a raw hot dog with a hole punched through the middle.
Yeah.
Straw.
Dude, in Milwaukee Public Market, you can get a Bloody Mary that has a bratwurst in it, and also like cheese curds, not fries cheese curds, but like cheese curds,
Oh,
unfried
hell
cheese
yeah.
curds. And in the Bloody Mary, my mom gets one every time she comes and visits
We don't
me,
even.
and I-
That's not even like. We don't
I
even
know, and
have
I'm
fucked up
like,
shit like that
why?
at the Minnesota State
The
Fair,
wor-
and we're like
the
known for our
worst-
fucked up shit.
The worst fucking thing is that it comes with a highball chaser too.
Oh.
Up and up.
I'm just
Like
imagining. You're talking like deep fried cheese curds, right?
No, it's not fried. No, it's
Okay,
like,
thank God. I was
it's-
imagining
it's
like
just the
soggy
curd.
fried cheese
it's
curds
just-
in this
it's
thing with
just-
oil.
it's like unfried cheese curds. Like it's just curded cheese and a bratwurst on like a skewer. And it's a Bloody Mary, and it comes with a highball chaser for like probably like $15 fucking.
Which,
Holy
speaking of buying things,
Oh yeah,
think-
let's segue.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
that was a
awesome
really
segue.
good awesome
So
segue.
that's
dude.
the book discussion done, guys. I should have written down something for this section.
Guys, let's get
It's
really
been
real
6
for a
months.
second here.
I'm going to. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to take a second to talk a bit about the book club.
That's
I
illegal.
want to thank everyone watching, and I also want to thank you guys for being in this book club with me, because it has been probably the best thing I've ever done as Zet, getting to set this up and do this every month. It's been it's been bettering, I feel like is the word, of getting to do this and getting to have a chat who's active and also talking about the book, and getting to talk with all of you about the book, people I like and care about, and getting to just, I don't have the words for it, I'm sorry. I love this book club a lot, and I really wanted to do something special for it. And so right after last meeting ended, I immediately pushed an idea in the group chat that I've spent the last month fast tracking as much as I possibly could. And it's basically taken up my entire month behind the scenes. Like, even beyond like what I've told the book club, I have been working on this, communicating with people, tracking things, and working on logistics pretty much all month, which is why I feel like my output hasn't been super great. So I'm really proud of this though, and I hope you'll all like it too. So for the 6-month half-year anniversary of the VLIT Book Club, we have, can somebody give me a drum roll, please? Maybe multiple?
I was already gonna do it, dude.
Can we get noise filters off? Hit the fucking desk a bit.
I'm drumming, but my noise suppression is canceling it.
Fuck it. Ta-da! The VLIT Book Club anniversary bookmark set is on sale I'm hitting the button.
Now!
Hitting the button now, right fucking now. You can the V-Lit book club. Let's go.
Yeah.
This
In your
is the
pocket.
V-Lit book club anniversary set.
Buy it!
It is a. I vague tweeted yesterday about it. It is a 6-inch acrylic bookmark. And it also includes a 2-inch vinyl sticker of the new, also seen at the top of the image here, V-Lit Book Club logo, which was designed by Sassanao on VGen, and then
Cornelia's
the
the
art
only
for the
one visible on
bookmark
screen.
was done by Aslixer. Yeah, this is why. This
Buy
is
now, buy now, buy now, buy now.
buy right now, buy right now. It is a limited supply. We only have 15 of them because I didn't
that
think we'd
include-
sell more than 15. So
Is that including ours?
no, I ordered 20.
Okay, I was like, do we have to fight chat for our
I was like, I make you guys go
Right,
on the fucking.
right,
I
right.
make you guys buy it off here too.
And you,
Well, if we wanted to do just bookmarks for us, we could just print. I literally looked it up. Walgreens, you can print a bookmark for 50 cents, and it's like shitty,
Fuck.
flimsy paper. We could
Well, I
just.
don't want a shitty one.
Right? This is
Want
not
a
a
real
shitty bookmark, though. This is, like I said, it's a 6-inch acrylic bookmark. It is on Ko-fi. You can buy it right now on Ko-fi. The sample arrived, literally, it arrived yesterday, and I was in bed when the sample arrived, and so I, like, leapt out of bed and ran to my apartment's mailroom so I could pick
Just
this
like
up
Christmas.
and, like, get it before
Just like
somebody, like,
Christmas.
porch robbed me. And it's acrylic, so it's not a flimsy paper bookmark. The bookmark itself is actually, I don't know how thick it is necessarily. I don't know. I'm not good at measuring things, but it is like solidly thick. I'd say it's about as, I don't even know.
6 inches and thick.
It's not quite as
Oh.
thick as a
Whoa.
traditional acrylic stand. Like, it's thinner than, I'd say it's like half the thickness of an acrylic stand, like a standee. And it's
it's like
kinda
keychain
flexible,
thickness.
though. Like, you can bend it a bit, but it's a solid bookmark that's like,
I wouldn't recommend doing that. By the
I
way.
wouldn't
Yeah,
bend it
don't bend us.
either.
Don't do that.
bend us, please. Don't bend
Snap
us.
us in half.
Please don't
Don't do
snap us
that.
in half.
What we deserve.
You
You're the
cannot buy
only
a
one of us who
you
will survive
cannot-
that.
You cannot buy a replacement, so don't
That's
do that.
literally true. We
That's
only have.
true.
We don't
This
even
is the
have
only
the
one
50.
you're ever
These,
getting.
like I said, because I got the sample yesterday, I was able to make corrections yesterday, and so I literally just ordered them yesterday. So shipping will be mid to late December, which is probably when they will arrive. We do also, because I know
that
a
would be
lot of
mean, so-
people in my chat and V's chat are not in the US, we do also have worldwide shipping. It's a lot more expensive, unfortunately, but
Well,
you know, that's
we're not really doing this to make a profit necessarily.
no, it can be tough.
It's not about the money, Spider-Man.
It's not about.
It's
the
not
money.
about the money. It's about Oshikatsu. It's not. It's,
It's about the
Oshikatsu,
Mets, baby.
Spider-Man.
Let's go Mets. Go Mets.
Let's go Mets.
Let's go, Mets, Spider-Man. The Ko-fi page also has a bunch of extra photos of the bookmark. Like I said,
nice.
I went out into the snow today. I woke up today. I took like a 3-hour nap this morning, woke up and went out in like 4 layers and walked around in an honest to God snowstorm. I walked maybe a mile, maybe more, to like this spot I knew would make a good photo, and almost fell into the river doing it because I didn't realize the
Awesome.
river had receded a bit. So I almost tripped into it. It's about sending a message, that's right, and the message is
It's read.
merchandise. It's read, that's right. Read. You can slip us. I actually tried slipping us into a book. This does fit perfectly into basically any book. You'd think with a thicker bookmark it would like make the pages open, but it doesn't. It kind of fits perfectly in there.
6 inches, relatively thick, slips in just nice.
It does.
Buy it
That's
now.
what the vague tweet was about yesterday, where I just tweeted 6 inches because this is just 6 inches.
Oh, that's what that was about.
That's what this was.
Yeah,
6
yeah,
inches. 6 inches, maybe a milliliter on top. These sample photos do actually have a tassel attached to the top. The final product will not have a tassel. It will be available. I mean, it's going to be available until there's no more left, which might be a while. I'm not sure. We'll find out, I guess. But yeah, they will ship at the earliest, mid to late December, which means if they arrive really soon, they might get to you in time for Christmas if you celebrate. So you can have it as like a little gift. Maybe it won't though, depending. I'm not sure how bad shipping will be. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's-
part one of our announcements. Because yes, there is one more announcement, and we've kind of accidentally spoiled it a couple times.
That's why
I
I
always use that. I always use that
kidding.
word.
We've
It wasn't
kind of
intentional spoiling
a
on my
couple
part.
of slips of the tongue this
I didn't
stream.
slip anything.
Can I get another drum roll?
hold on,
Except
I
not
got you.
actually,
Hold on,
because
hold on,
everyone's
hold on.
Discord is
I
going
got
to
you.
That's
suppress
right.
it.
We're shooting Cordelia.
Shooting Cordelia, that's
Yeah,
right.
you're
That's the
putting
other
it down.
announcement. That's right. Okay, the other announcement. Viewing Book Club will be available on Spotify as a podcast going forward. Episodes 1 and 2 that we've already done are edited. They won't be going up immediately, though. Those are going to be going up next week. This episode will be going up hopefully on Monday. But yes, this will be available on Spotify and also on YouTube as a podcast. The podcast differs from the normal stream in the sense that the podcast is not going to have the gaming sections we do, and it also mostly just cuts dead air. So they're
also
much
muted
shorter
Jet the
experiences,
entire
but also
time.
much more focused on the book itself, rather than, anytime we get too off topic. Like episode 2, when I was editing it, had a very long bit we did that I told you guys
Which one?
about that was maybe 10 minutes long.
Which bit was that?
The one where we talked about going to TwitchCon and hunting Gunrun down. Like,
Was that on this? Was that on this program?
that was on this program. We talked about doing that. And then
Shit.
TwitchCon was like its whole own thing. Maybe he was there. Maybe he did get there.
Oops.
But that entire bit was cut out because I was like, this feels
My
kind of...
bad.
This
My
feels...
bad.
Oops. But yeah, this is what we produced for the half-year celebration. But yes, I will be using my bookmark later tonight to read the new book we pick, which we are now going to move into. So I'm going to hide the ads. I'm going to remove the old book, and we're going to go through one by one the new books, starting with Cordelia. So Cordelia's new book, if you'd like to introduce, is...
It's Frankenstein.
Oh fuck!
Yeah!
Awesome.
Would you like to do a brief... I feel like everyone knows what Frankenstein is, but would you like to briefly introduce it a little bit?
No.
You know what Frankenstein is. You don't need us to
Okay,
introduce
moving.
Frankenstein.
No.
It's
That's
like,
it. Moving on.
It's like the most famous book ever.
No,
I
it is the.
I would
it
just like
is
to remind
the-
everyone preemptively, Frankenstein is the doctor's name.
That's
The
right.
Yes.
funniest thing you possibly could have
If
done
I-
is say no and disconnect from the.
if when we read this, I catch any of you calling the creature Frankenstein, I will block you.
His name is the,
The
creature.
creature?
It is.
Yeah,
in
his name
fact
is the creature.
The creature. He didn't
Not
get
gonna
to have a
do it.
name.
We're
my poor
gonna
baby.
get you in shot collars.
And yeah, I actually today because I
If,
was
if you
out
really want to
already-
be funny, you can call him Adam.
You call him the modern Prometheus.
That's
That-
true.
no, that's
yeah. No, that is.
That's not him. That's his fucking creator.
Is it?
It's
You
true.
can
Whatever,
call
true.
him
Yes.
our little
Oh, yeah.
guy.
Our little. I thought
You
you were going
call-
to say our
you call
little
him a
pony.
guy.
Dr. Frankenstein, the modern Prometheus, because Prometheus was the guy who made life. This is very simple, guys.
Oh, no, sorry. So for real, this is like the birthplace of Gothic horror literature. I watched the new Guillermo del Toro movie and am back on my bullshit about this book, which I haven't read in like 10 years. So I thought this
I
was
had to
the
read it for
perfect
school.
time. No, I did not read it for school. I read it
I didn't read it
for
for school.
pleasure.
Oh boy.
Real.
Well, I read much worse things than this for pleasure.
Yeah.
Well, that's because you're a fucking freak.
I mean, aren't
I
we
read
all?
Notes from Underground for pleasure.
Yeah.
God, never mind. I take it back. You are a freak.
You're a fucking freak.
I read Wuthering Heights for pleasure.
Stop it. Stop.
Stop.
Moving on.
Moving on. By the way, this cover Cordelia picked out, you can actually buy this specific print of the book. Only issue,
I'm
this
going
cover makes the book $50. So
Oh, hell no.
Awesome.
Buying this
I
cover.
went to my local bookshop today actually because I was already out in the snow. I walked to my local bookshop to check, and I asked, do you have any copies of Frankenstein? It was like, oh yeah, well normally we have like a dozen copies of Frankenstein in stock, but since the movie came out, we have not been able to keep it in stock for more than a day. So
Based.
yeah, it is pretty
Guillermo del
good.
Toro saving literature.
I literally was talking to the guy at the bookstore, and he was like, do you think that movie's worth seeing? I was like, oh yeah, it
Yes.
is. What do you mean you didn't see it?
Yes.
He was like,
Look at a bookstore, you stupid son of a bitch. What are you asking me that for? What are you asking me for?
Right? But yes, That's Cordelia's book. Next up is Rin's book.
Hi. My
Bye.
book is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V. Schwab.
Yay!
I haven't read this one, but I have been meaning to read V. Schwab's books for like 10 years now. The first one I read was earlier this year. I read their newest one. What was that? Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. And that was this is about a person named Addie LaRue who in 1714 makes a Faustian bargain to live forever, but she is then cursed to be forgotten by everyone she meets. And so it follows everything over like 300 years and like until eventually like she apparently stumbles across a young man in a hidden bookstore and he remembers her name.
Sounds exciting.
It does
Cool.
sound exciting.
Yeah.
Your other recommendation was also a book I
I
really
would hope
like.
it was a book.
But this is the book I was talking about that we might have trouble getting. My local library system has 50 copies of this book and 600 holds.
Son.
So
Whoa.
might want to buy this
600?
one.
Oh god, I thought it said
I
60.
tell you that this book is $9.55 right now on Amazon.com for Cyber Monday.
Well, there you go. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say you should use bookshop.org instead because
Or
they're
you can
doing
use
free shipping
bookshop.org
and that
instead
supports
because
local
it's money.
bookshops. Moving on to Titania's book.
Hi, this is a short story collection by a writer who I really like. Zet Knows Why.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
called Valuable Humans in Transit and Other Stories. It's a bunch of like realistic sci-fi stories, basically.
Yes, written by Quantum, who is, if you do not know, Quantum, I don't know if he got his start, because I know the biography in his newest release says he's been writing for like the entire 20th century. Except he also looks like he's like 30, so I feel like that can't possibly be correct.
He did not get to start. He actually got to start publishing a web novel on his personal website called Ra, which I would have recommended, but I don't want you guys to read Ra because it's imagine like if Lord of the Rings had math instead of myths.
Oh,
Like I like it, but there's a lot of physics.
Thank you for sparing us.
Yes, thank you. But I think what he is most well known for, generally by the average populace, is his work on the SCP Commons.
Oh,
He
yeah.
is the author of basically the entire anti-memetic section on the SCP Wiki, which
yeah.
has also just recently been released as a hardcover book, which you can buy right now. It is really expensive,
Yeah,
though. It's like $30 for the
Called-
hardcover,
titled
but it's
There
also
is
really
no
good.
Anti-Memetics Division.
Yes, there is no anti-memetics division. It is a great read as well, so I am really excited
it's
to read.
fantastic.
I'm very excited for whenever
Once
we
you
get to
guys hear what
read.
Zet's book is,
What?
What if that is what Zet's book is?
It is.
That's
I
your book.
literally posted a photo of the book in the group chat and said neither of these are my pick for this month.
That's right,
That
you
is a
did.
book you can with 100% certainty say is not my pick out of everything.
But what if
No,
you
I-
forgot that it was your pick?
what if? Wait till it's my pick.
Okay. Yes. Now for V's pick. For the record, though, V is not going to be participating in the gaming section this month because she is going to be away next month. She will not be part of next
on
month's
vacation.
club. Yes, she is enjoying a nice, well-deserved vacation. And so this is just so we're all introducing at the same time, though. She will be back for January. And V's book is...
I'd like for there we go. Masters of Doom by David Kushner. This is a book. This is a biography. It's biographical in nature, I suppose, about the founding of and success of id Software, developers of Doom, Quake, such things. I read about half of this book several years ago, and then I didn't get a chance to finish it. And it's basically the only other book on my shelf that I already have that I could think to recommend because I don't read books, and so I've already tapped out. I've already tapped out completely on book recommendations at this point. So in another six,
Oh, I think you got out.
oh, I was saying I was going to kill myself.
You know what? That's all right.
We have to keep this going forever now, so that V is forced to keep reading books.
I don't have any more
Yeah,
books to
thanks.
recommend.
That's
That's right.
This is the
that's
only other
point of the
book
club.
that I
Literally,
knew.
the point of the club is to make everyone literate. That's
But
the,
I don't
Read
have any more books. I don't have any more books to recommend. I'm
then you
out
gotta
of
start
books.
reading them. You gotta start taking stuff out of your local library just for fun.
What? That's the point of this.
Yeah, but now the idea is to get you into doing it yourself. Like, I just took out a brand new book today that I'm not going to recommend to the club. I just took it out for fun, for pleasure. You gotta start doing that. Start watching YouTube videos about books. And
Your
I
next
actually,
book can be
well,
bought.
I bought 2 books for pleasure out of this book club because I bought the sequel to Rin's last book, and then I bought sequel to.
Oh, that's true. You did say you bought that.
So,
Yeah, that's right. You
actually-
did buy Bell in the Fog. So
Fuck you.
my fucking bad.
Fuck off. But I'm not going to recommend either of those books to the book club.
You know what? That's good.
I suppose I-
Keep them.
I
You
suppose
gotta
I
have a
could.
couple books you keep to yourself.
Yeah.
You know, gotta
Well, I
have them
could-
ready to
but
bring
I-
up in casual
I
conversation.
thought about it, but I didn't want to wait potentially 6 months to read Bell in the.
Yeah, that's real. Honestly, that's why I don't necessarily recommend books I want to read desperately, because I won't be able to wait. I recommend books that I think would be fun to read, which I will do right now, actually, moving into my book. My book is The Beautiful Thing That Awaits Us All and Other Stories by Laird Barron, another short story collection,
Oh
actually.
boy, another short story collection.
This one caught my eye. I have not read this before. I have not read anything by this author before. However, it caught my eye because it is apparently a collection of short stories, cosmic horror short stories, with a detective noir twist. So, very much so in my wheelhouse. This is an older book. This book isn't even actually in my library system, so I am currently trying to find a copy of it used. But I guess if I win this month, I'm just going to buy it. So, this month's new books are The Beautiful Thing That Awaits Us All by Laird Barron, Masters of Doom, How Two Guys Create an Empire and Transform into Pop Culture by David Kushner, Valuable Humans in Transit and Other Stories by Quantum, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab, and of course Frankenstein or the Modern Prometheus by Mary Shelley. We have a very nice list of books this month, but yes, this week's game now that we are going to play, Cordelia got to pick this month. I said week again. Cordelia, would you like to introduce the game we're going to play?
Oh yeah, so we're gonna play Clue.
Straight up, not even a bit behind this. It is in fact just we're playing the board game Clue, I guess. Hey there, it's Zet in the editing cage. If you'd like to watch the full gaming section we had after this, in which I was repeatedly accused of killing a man, you can check out the uncut VOD over on my YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/@Zetasteria. Or if you'd like to catch these podcasts live and join in on the chat discussion, you can follow me on twitch.tv/Zetasteria. You'll also get to see lots of bits that get cut from these edited podcasts, like this one.
I think everything after I said the word jihadist is being cut.
Fuck
No,
yeah.
I'm leaving that in specifically, and I'm sectioning it off and boosting the volume by like 500%. So it's just very clearly you saying,
Career
you
before
know what, no, I'm going to cut everything but that line, so that it's just randomly you screaming Halloween jihadist, and then it just moves on to a new topic. And
I'm
there's
not even
no.
a streamer yet. You're ending my career before it starts.
Demonetized.
I'm not the. It's you who said
immediately.
it. And now back to the book club. All right. So that means the very first month of the new book cycle is going to go to Rin. Congrats, Rin. We will then be reading The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E.
Put it on
Schwab.
right now.
I'm
Go
literally looking
buy.
it up right now.
Go. You should reserve this book at your library right now because you might not
Like
get
Klaus
it.
Schwab.
Sorry.
But yeah, I will say, at the best of Rin, if you do think about buying this book, we might have an affiliate link for bookshop.org. If you wanted to use that, I'd go ahead and put in the hold at your local library, though. I don't know, now we're locked in until the 1 year anniversary with the current set of books. And barring any new members joining, we will kind of have a very clean reset every 6 months, which
I don't think we can handle another fucking member.
I mean, I feel like we could. I feel like it would just get crowded on screen if we had another member.
Dark one, Sean.
You want to start talking over each other really bad? Because we
Yeah,
could.
we can start.
We can just start.
We,
or like
we sat
if-
our asses down and we listened.
That's right. We are a group of listener. Doobie guest. I'd kill myself. No offense. Sorry. I'd
Father,
go
my
crazy.
Oshi.
I'd have a panic attack and kill myself. Sorry. I've killed people before for bringing me up in other people's chats. It's like, I remember I raided in, I don't even think I raided into somebody. I think I was watching just a streamer I follow, and like someone from my chat was also in their chat at the same time, and they brought up like, oh, we should watch some videos we should do some like YouTube videos and stuff. And someone in chat, one of my chatters, went in and recommended they watch one of my clips. And I I was immediately like, hey, please don't do that. Please don't do that. And then I privately pulled the chatter aside, like, don't ever do that again. Don't ever bring me up in front of. Don't ever bring me up in front of that person again. Never embarrass me like this again. Clue is kind of fun. Do you think there is competitive Clue?
I think it's joining the FBI.
Oh, you're right.
My buddy Rin's a Fed? Oh no.
Never.
No. Oh my god.
Never.
Their hair is even like fluorescent green. It's like it glows in the dark like a Chloe. Oh no. That reminds me, there was not a situation of a narc, but it just reminds me of a situation where a narc could have like really fucked things up. When I was in university, I think it was a psychology class, and our professor was like this really, really old dude. I think he was like 80 or something. You know, he didn't pay a lot of attention to what he was doing. There was a point where we had a test to take, and he like left the room for like 10 straight minutes, maybe more. And he left a copy of the answer sheet on his desk. So literally everyone in the class was passing it around, like copying it, and every single person in the class got 100 on the test because we all, they all cheated. And he came in the next day, like, he came in so fucking pissed. He was like, I know you all cheated. Because it's impossible for you all to have gotten 100 on this. So I know you all cheated somehow. I don't know how, and I can't prove it. But the second I do, I'm expelling every single one of you from the university. And he never found out, and no one ever got expelled. Also, for the record, this is a class that I was not in. I just heard this from a friend. I was not one of the people who cheated on this test. I just want to clarify that. My university degree is still valid.
I was.
You were in my class, and I didn't know, and you cheated on
the answers were copied from me, in fact.
Damn, real. But it was just really funny because he was like he was fucking seething and couldn't do anything about it because it was his fuck up. So he just had to sit there and take it.
My history professor was like, we all sort of agreed not to do an assignment because it was bullshit. And the next day our history professor came in and was like, guys, I'm sorry about that. Can you help me make better assignments? Like... I'm fucking sorry, guys.
Yeah, guys, that was a miss. Let's try again, please. Guys, if you all get 0 on an assignment, I'm the one who gets in trouble. Can we not do that again, please? No, that was a really fucked up class now that I think about it, actually. Because I'm pretty sure the professor was fucking one of the students.
Oh.
Because it was...
Oh, well, that's like happening like a solid 30% of the time, I think.
It's actually really
an 80-year-old man?
Yeah, it was...
anything for the 4.0.
You know what?
Yeah.
True. And you know what? It wasn't even against university rules because it took until the year I graduated for the university to implement a rule that said students and professors could not have like romantic relationships. Like that was not a rule until the year I graduated. And it was like
awesome.
I could have been fucking throwing cheeks to get a better grade. Are you kidding me? And I didn't.
Like, I feel like that's been a rule for decades. What the fuck?
It was not a rule at this university. Usually it's illegal at my university. And, they closed the loophole.
I will never begrudge a student for trying it. Like, get that bag.
Right. I don't even know the student he was
fucking college is just about doing what you gotta do. It's not about...
fuck the professor, but the student, get it.
Yeah, yes, right? I'm trying to fuck. That's the point.
If the professor falls for it, they didn't deserve their job.
Exactly. That's on them.
We should start fucking sending false flag students to have sex with professors.
Yeah, good idea.
Fucking sting operation.
I volunteer.
What? What did you say?
Huh?
What?
Huh?
What?
Okay, go ahead. I support you 100%.
Yeah, do it.
That's right.
All right, wrap it up.
All right. Any final thoughts? Final thoughts for real?
Happy to be here. Happy 6-month book club anniversary.
Happy 6-month book club anniversary. But yeah, bookmark on sale, podcast on Spotify, read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRoe for next time. And that'll be it from us. Thank you so much for coming, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye. Bye. Bye. Bye.